Hola, mi gentes, bienvenidos. Hello, welcome, my peoples, beautiful souls. How you doing? We are going to be getting into the Mars in retrograde in the sign of Leo and Cancer. We're going to get into the dates and we're going to get into all signs. So have your tea, your coffee, your water, whatever beverages it is that you would like to have with you. This is going to be time stamped, and so when I put the replay on YouTube is where you can find your timestamp. I do suggest that everyone listen for your rising sign, your moon sign, your sun sign, and your Mars sign, because this is Mars in retrograde, right? And I do also suggest that everyone listen to the signs of Leo and Cancer, because this retrograde is going to be happening in both signs. All right. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? I see the notifications are going out. Thank you to everyone who is joining the space. Now, I know this video is like long overdue. We technically have just started officially station retrograde yesterday. Well, I believe it's after midnight now, so 2 days ago. I'll be giving the dates and I'll be giving what that kind of signifies, right, with Mars in retrograde, what reflections to look upon. I do believe that it is in your best interest to listen to the collective messages first before just jumping into your zodiac sign, just so that you could get a better overview of what this energy is going to be looking like for you or just for the collective, right? And so have your paper and your pens ready. If you want to take any notes, feel free to come back at any given time. Write down these dates in your journals if you're going to journal at this time. Journaling is so important for reflections and going back and looking at what happened in certain time periods in our lives. And, I'm guilty of not always writing things down, but it is at times like this when a planet goes into retrograde, especially Mars, when you start to really ask yourself, what did I do around this time, and what was life looking like, right? And so it's really important. Mars likes to initiate action. Mars likes to really thrive in its passions, and it's sensual, it's sexual, it's fiery, it's charged up. It can be a bit impulsive, it can be angry, it can be filled with confidence or insecurities, right? It can connect with inflammation and headaches. It can connect with wounds or surgery, right? Any forms of separation as well. Hello, my beautiful people, my beautiful souls. Not my beautiful souls, right? But my beautiful soul to your beautiful soul. I see y'all coming in. Our beautiful souls. Yes, wholeness and the one design. All right, so Mars in retrograde is happening both in the sign of Leo and Cancer. And the pre-shadow phase, let me go into the so the shadow period began on October 3rd of 2024 until December 5th. Now, if you see me looking on the side, is that I have my notes here on the side, and then so I'm going to be giving you dates. And then we officially entered into the retrograde on December 6th of 2024, in which Mars is going to be in retrograde until February 23rd of 2025. And so this is a time period where things are going to feel a little bit more slow. It's going to be more internalized. Now, keep in mind, this is also during the winter period, Mars does not like to be in retrograde. Mars thrives a little bit more in Leo than it does in the sign of Cancer. And each zodiac sign is going to actually have two houses in which to pay attention to, because again, how Mars is going to be in Leo versus how Mars is going to be in Cancer is going to be very different. And so that's something that I want you all to keep in mind. Also, these are general collective messages for each of your zodiac signs. And because of that, I do want you to look into your Mars, where your Mars placement is at, and also listen for that. And if you need any help or guidance, you can feel free to reach out to me. Hello, greetings, one love. Yeah, you can feel free to reach out to me, and we can go over your chart and what that's going to look like specifically for you. Excuse me. But let's get into it. So then the post shadow period will be from February 24th until May 2nd. And so that's a long time, right? May 2nd of 2025. And so, although it may seem, December, January, February, like 3 months into the retrograde, we also have until May. So because the energy will be slowed down, it will have station direct on February 24th. However, there's still going to be like that residual energy for you to really start moving forward again, right? With this energy, these new profound awakenings or revitalized desires, right? To move forward, to make these changes. And so that's going to be very important for you. From December 6th until January 6th is when Mars is going to be retrograde in the sign of Leo. And then from January 6th to February 23rd is when it's going to be retrograde in the sign of Cancer. So Mars likes to make moves, like I was saying earlier. Mars likes to, whether it's a parlay move, it's a money move, it likes to initiate action. It likes to be a leader, right? It likes to show that it's capable of doing and being. That's where it thrives at. And so when it's in retrograde, this energy is more internalized as opposed to like externalized, right? It's more about moving the energy inside of you that have been slow to move, or that has been like pent up resentment or anger, right? Any type of deep passions that may have been suppressed, right? Or repressed even. This energy can be slow to movement, like I mentioned earlier in the video. And what that can look like is, maybe you feel passionate, maybe you're feeling like you're ready to go, but something in the external world is happening where it's slowing down. It's requiring you to pace yourself, to not be so quick to move, not be so quick to take action. It's going to require you to maybe slow down or just stop all the way through for now and be the observer of an experience and let something else pass, let something else happen in your life, and you may not be able to do anything about it. Right? And that can be a little bit frustrating for some people, right? It's like if your car was to like break down, or you lose the keys, and you're just, wanting to do, or you feel like you have a lot of errands you have to do, and you're not really mobile at this time. Like you're not really going anywhere. You're having to stay put where you're at in the moment. It may be something temporary. It's not something long term. Maybe it's to upgrade your vehicle, or maybe it's to get get you to calm down before going to a certain, destination or something like that, or to avoid an accident that may be happening down the road that you're not aware of. Whatever the case may be, this could also be like detours, right? And things just slowing you down, where it's like, you might want to be getting there faster, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get to this place late, not realizing that there's actually something else happening behind the scenes that you may not be aware of. And so this can challenge your motivations, right? This can challenge your desires even, right? But this could also reignite old passions to come up to the surface. Good evening, beautiful. Old passions to come up to the surface, things that you were just like really wanting to get into before, and maybe, life was lifing on you, whatever reasons, you didn't get into it. And now you're just feeling like that push of like, I've been wanting to do this for X amount of years, and I haven't, or I started it and I didn't finish. And it's just like really waking up inside of you all over again. This passion is not letting you sleep at night. And some of you are actually going to have that, like, I don't want to say issue, but y'all going to be dealing with some like hard nights of not sleeping. But we'll get into that in just a moment. Things that you may have left behind. There could also be relationship separations, right? Whether it's friendships, whether it's companionships, whether it's partnerships. This could also be that like certain businesses slow down. Or it could be challenging in this aspect. This could also, in some cases, this could reignite that sexual passion for some of you. And for some of you, you may not want to have sex at all. You may just be feeling really lethargic, depleted, tired, not really, standing it up, or whatever the case may be for some of you, right? Especially for the divine masculine energies. When Mars is in retrograde, it can bring up, especially during, I would say with both Leo and Cancer energies, any insecurities, right? It can challenge your confidence levels because of the slowdown, or things may not be going as anticipated and planned, right? And so there's going to be a big emphasis on readdressing your wounds at this time. So deep shadow work is highly recommended for everyone, despite which house it is and how this is going to affect you, whether good, bad, indifferent. That's all perspective. There could be a lot of internal anger or collective anger that could be moving through you at this time. And so these are just some key points that I want y'all to pay attention to, right? Because when it comes down to the retrograde, with anger or insecurity, or having to readdress any wounds within yourself, it's really about being honest with yourself. That's where it's internalizing. It's no longer being able to point the finger outward. It's no longer being able to just deflect or use outside sources to cover up what's really inside, because it's going to come up to the surface to be dealt with. And this gives you the opportunity to not only do the shadow work, but really integrate with your shadow to become the best version of yourself. So that way, once we do go into the post-shadow phase, you move with this new intelligence, you move with this new level of consciousness that it's activated in a way that it's excited to start anew. It's excited to move forward, right? So We're gonna get started. I am gonna do like one tarot card for each of the signs. So I'm gonna do a bit of the astrology and a bit of the tarot. If you are feeling like you're wanting to start new projects at this time, I would really say this is about reevaluating what's going on in your life and planning accordingly. It's not to say that you can't start anything new, but it's more about, unless the only quote unquote anything new would be like old passions. If this is something that you had been very passionate about and you haven't taken the initiative of it before, then this is your time to take the initiative of it. And it's a slow and steady wins this race, right? If it is just something new overall, again, if life is lifing in the ways where you have to make that decision now, I'm gonna tell you, go, just do it, go for it. Now, again, I do want you all to listen to your sun, your moon, and your rising first, all right? As this is going to be more personalized to what your day-to-day activities look like for you, what life looks like for you, what the world is projecting out for you. And the sun is going to be more of that, like, the drive, the passions. This could be fatherly energy also, but just your divine masculine energies. This could be identity, where, ego takes place as essentially also, but what is going to be illuminated to you as well. And then the moon sign is definitely going to be what is subjective in your emotional body, in your mental body. This is more the internal aspects of self. And then you're going to look, and that's also connected with divine feminine energies and the mother. And so if you are dealing with mother wounds, father wounds, you want to listen to those signs as well. And then listen to your Mars, right? As that's your action, your ability to move and just really go get shit done. So Aries, this energy, we're going to get started with Aries. Aries, this energy is happening from December 6th to January 6th. While Mars is retrograde in Leo, this energy is happening in your 5th house. So with this happening in your 5th house, this can be potential old lovers trying to come in the picture, or you just reminiscing on old lovers, you reminiscing on your childhood. It can be having an argument, if you're in a relationship, having an argument with your partner or something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that if you have any exes that's coming into the picture that you are to reignite that flame. It is so that you could really reflect on what did that relationship mean to you? What was the symbolism? What was the lesson? How are you carrying that energy forward through you? Are there some cords you need to cut, right? Do you need to let go of these people or energies or lessons from your astral body, right? From your etheric body, from your mental body, your emotional body, whatever it may have you. Do you need to untether yourself from this? Are you still holding resentment or anger towards any of your exes or these things? Or are you holding on to any sadness, grief, and pain that perhaps you experienced in a past relationship and you're bringing it into a new relationship, or you're wanting to call in a new relationship, but you haven't quite done the shadow work and the healing when it comes down to your emotional body from that relationship. And so you maybe just find yourself keep attracting the same type of people that are bringing up the shadows of manipulation, the shadows of anger, the shadows of your insecurities, essentially, right? And so you really want to take a look at that. If you have children, this can be that perhaps something, maybe a child gets hurt or needs surgery, or maybe you had surgery as a child, or maybe there's a lesson in some sort of like, your attitude or something that gets passed down from you to your child. Something like that in regards to like having to really reflect on your childhood as well as what's going on with your children. Maybe your children, if you have children, you could find yourself more irritated by something that they do, and it's frustrating, and you want to like lash out at them or something like that. And it's a reminder to tap back to the inner child within you. And how would you communicate with your inner child to communicate that with your children, right? How would you want to nurture this experience as opposed to allowing the frustrations to overwhelm you and overcome you? Right? It's not to ignore, neglect the emotions that come up or whatever passions show up during this experience. Is to make it into your awareness for you to deal with, but also do it in a way that's not toxic, right? And so this could also be needing to maybe, put yourself out there. Maybe you were really, on a path where you were to be seen, or, social media, right? Maybe there's something in regards to whether it's you being an influencer or entrepreneur, or you just do work online, whatever the case may be, and you found yourself being more introverted and isolating and not really wanting to put yourself out there. You might find yourself being called to be seen again. Put yourself out there. Show what it is that you came here to do. And practicing that on a way in ways of discipline, because you may not be feeling as motivated to be seen, right? You may not be as motivated to go on social media and be an influencer, or you might actually find yourself having certain separations with clients or your social media platforms. Maybe the changes happen in a way where like you put yourself from like a public profile to private, or a social media platform just goes away all the way through, and like having to really look at your identity and how attached it is to being seen, and what other people's opinions are, how you've been working and navigating your business. Overall, this is not going to be that bad, but there is the potential, because again, I'm not looking at your personal natal chart. If you are like an influencer or something, and you have Aries in your Mars, you have Aries in your rising specifically, and then Sun and Moon, this is definitely something that you want to pay attention to. There could be some confrontation, maybe somebody leaving some, harsh or disruptive comments on your videos or your posts or something like that, and you may want to like argue. There could be something in regards to that, right? Especially moving forward from January 6th to February 23rd, this energy is happening in your fourth house, and your fourth house has a lot to do with the home and with family. So if you have any mother wounds, if you have any that you have not dealt with, this is definitely the time for you to either reconcile with this situation, initiate that healing and integration when it comes down to reconnecting with the divine feminine, reconnecting with the mother. Okay, if you are looking at contracts for a house or something like that, there could be major I don't want to say backlash for everyone, but there could be certain issues that could arise when it comes down to contracts in the home. Aries, so like for example, if you are wanting to move but you're still on a lease, I would say, you know, allow yourself time to think this through even after the retrograde. This could also be that like perhaps your home environment gets threatened, or you know, some sort of violence happens in your neighborhood or something like that. That's a possibility for this energy as well. And because this energy is happening with Cancer, this is very emotional. You're gonna feel very moody. You're gonna probably want to be home more. Like you're probably not gonna want to be seen, and like you were like, okay, the first half with Mars and retrograde and Leo, you were feeling called to get back on social media and be, you know, do what you have to do for your passions, and in that, you know, so that you're putting in an effort in this space. But then once it goes into Cancer, all your emotional context is coming up for you to like really deal with. This could also be, you know, if you find yourself more at home, you know, it could be with Leo, with Mars retrograde Leo in the 5th house. Maybe some of you find out that you're pregnant, or happen to conceive and get pregnant, and then you find yourself as Mars is retrograding into the sign of Cancer, you find yourself wanting to be home more, right? Especially if you are a female, right? This could be you getting pregnant while Mars was in the 5th house, and now you find yourself more at home, and like really internalizing your emotion, you know, getting into your emotional body, and really like reflecting on what does that mean for you as a woman, what does that mean for you as a mother, or even just a parent in general if you are a guy, right? Because the 4th house is parents. It is more directed towards mothers, because it is, you know, Cancer is its ruler. However, it is both parents. Okay. If you're dealing with needing to move, or contracts to the home, I would really be mindful of what those contracts look like. Like really take the time to read them. Okay, don't just go signing everything super fast. If you're needing to renegotiate anything, I would definitely look into that, because you might find yourself needing to renegotiate certain contracts. This could also be some sort of like inheritance that comes in, or like generational traumas that come in for you, Aries. So for you to really take a look at that. Okay. You might find yourself really frustrated about, again, going back with the 5th house. There may have been things in your childhood that wasn't really, joyful, or something that you want to experience again. But with it in the 4th house, it's like, okay, not only did I have to deal with this in the 5th house and feel this through, but like now it's so strong in my emotional body, right? And so you're going to want to remember, home is where the heart is, and so you're going to have to be allowing yourself to feel what your heart is speaking to you at this time, so that you can let go of any anger, any insecurities, any resentment, and you could actually allow yourself to move forward once this retrograde is over with confidence, and knowing, you know, I tried and did everything I could to make these changes. I really did the healing that I needed to do, XYZ, right? It's going to be a lot of shadow work with that. A lot of patterns breaking. So if you know that there's certain addictions that pass down your family line and something like that, right? Maybe you're a smoker, or you're a drinker, or something like that, and that's just something that you grew up on, and you've known that throughout your childhood. but you see how it's becoming a detriment to your life now. That might be something for you to put it down, right? For you to break those patterns and for you to look at yourself as the future ancestor, right? Because essentially that's what you are. And really make your body the home, the temple that you are. All right, let's see here what card we're going to get here for Aries. Just one card, please. Hello, heavy. Hello, family. So we have the King of Coins, and I love that for you, okay? So again, and in the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Wands. So there's, again, going back to contracts here, you might find yourself needing to renegotiate certain moves that you're going to be making here. You're probably looking for a lot of stability here. And the only way you're going to really get into this stability is by really confronting and regulating, like emotionally regulating, not ignoring, but actually regulating and integrating your emotional body in a healthy standpoint so that you can find yourself being able to make the money. Maybe some of you work from home, right? Or you're finding yourself that you can't go out and work in a field because, like I mentioned, some of y'all may have things happen with like your vehicle or something like that, right? So whatever may have you, there is a sense of need to ground yourself so that you don't let your overconfidence or arrogance or anger get in the way of what it is that you are to be bringing forth on a generational level, right? To bring in generational wealth and stability for you. Sometimes, you know, Aries, y'all can be very impulsive and wanting to act quick and fast. And there may be things that's like, there's going to be, if I can speak to, we do have Mercury in retrograde at this time, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse. There could be certain conversations that need to be had in order to reconcile any generational wealth. There may be certain contracts that need to be renegotiated. There may need to be certain releases from your emotional body. And even from your ego, I'm hearing a lot of like egoic stuff that's going on in order for you to really have access to generational wealth, and essentially you creating the generational wealth and breaking through certain patterns here. And anything that has to do with the mother, having those uncomfortable conversations here, and sever any ties to past relationships, and what that's going to look like is going into like a new foundational of self here, especially with the change of hearts and change of thought patterns when it comes down to how you view relationships in itself. Essentially, when Mars in retrograde and Leo in the 5th house is happening for you, that reevaluation of relationships is really going to shift you in a space where when you are more internalized in the 4th house, you're going to know what it is that you want to bring in to foundation. All right. I wouldn't say rush into a marriage, or I wouldn't say rush into like living with someone or something like that. And I wouldn't rush into breaking any leases either. If you find yourself breaking up with somebody, this could be a result of Mars in retrograde because of the wounds, or just, you know, maybe you're healing from these wounds and it was a trauma bond or something like that, okay? And so, Aries, that's going to be your general collective message. Again, if you feel called to get more details or more into your chart, you can feel free to reach out to me. We're going to be moving forward to Taurus. Taurus, this energy from December 6th to January 6th, Mars is going to be retrograde in the sign of Leo in your 4th house. All right. when this energy is happening in your fourth house, you're going to find certain changes going on in the home that, you know, maybe Taurus, you're going to feel frustrated. Maybe if some of you Taurus were thinking about moving, it might be a little bit of a slower process. Maybe some of the contracts that you put out there were getting denied and it's a bit frustrating. Maybe you find yourself having arguments in the home, or just feeling called to stay at home rather than going out. You don't really want to go out much, right? It is the winter season, so you might find yourself wanting to just like hibernate during this time, right? Feeling like a bear, but also like being super protective of the home at this time. There could also be some disruptions or a need for you to tend to things in the home. This could also be you needing to take care of certain issues when it comes down to your parental figures. Maybe you have an argument with a parent, or there's some sort of reconciliation or healing that needs to happen in regards to in connection with like the mother specifically, or something like that. All right. And then from January 6th to February 23rd, Mars retrograde is going to enter back into the sign of Cancer in your third house. And so this is going to be a lot more communication. This is going to be educational. So it's going to be a very different shift, right? Because when from January 6th to February 23rd, you might find yourself wanting to study something new, something that you were like extremely passionate about, something that you just like, it reminds you of your childhood. You could be reuniting with an old childhood friend. This could be something about your neighbors as well, right? Because we were talking about the fourth house with Mars and Leo. Maybe something happens in your neighborhood. Maybe you get a new neighbor that moves in or something like that during that time, and you're not really like, it's not really doing anything for you. But then come, around January 6th to the 23rd, to February 23rd, and you find yourself feeling frustrated with this neighbor or something like that, or wanting to confront them, or, maybe the neighbor is parking in front of your home, or they have an animal that keeps going to like your yard or something like that. Whatever the case may be, it could be tedious things, it could be big things, right? It could be your neighbors fighting outside, causing disruptions, or whatever the case may be. It could be you having to call the cops on a neighbor or something like that. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what is going to happen, but it is a potential. It's a possibility. So you got to keep that in mind as well. So it could be studying something new. It can be having a heart-to-heart conversation with a sibling, or with an aunt, an uncle, a cousin. This can be something to bring healing onto your family structure, or it could be receiving some sort of like bad news or something in that area, right? This could also be if you do have children, getting some news in regards to something happening in their school, or just getting some news around school overall. This could be a little bit frustrating when it comes down to communication also, because with it being Mars in Cancer, you could be feeling really moody, and your interpretations of your perceptions and interpretations of what is being communicated to you can feel a little bit disconnected, or even outright what's the word I want to use? Like there could be a form of miscommunication that occurs with this energy. And so you want to really be mindful of that. I'm definitely going to say, tend to the home, maybe do a house cleanse, a floor wash, bring in some nature into the house, practice, allowing, letting the sun come in, maybe change your furniture around to kind of shift the energy. Some of you Taurus, being that it's the fourth house too, and I don't I'm not saying this is everybody's journey, but you might find yourself needing to leave a home, or getting even homeless or something like that, because Mars is separation or feeling left out. But nonetheless, this could just be feeling like, some abandonment issues or neglection or something like that you felt early on in the household or something like that. And so for you here, this could also be pertaining to a marriage. Doesn't necessarily mean that, but maybe because you have the Hierophant. Right? And so as your card, Taurus. And so Taurus, this could be you getting into some sort of scholarly information that creates a sacred marriage within your psyche, that you're gonna take this information moving forward once Mars exits out on February 23rd. I'm gonna say more so from February 24th and on, that you'll be taking the initiative to apply this information. But for some of you, this could also be getting into an argument with your partner, with your spouse or something like that. This could also be moving to a new location, moving to a new home with your partner. This could be separating from your partner. Something along these lines is really going to bring up old wounds for you to deal with when it comes down to sex, when it comes down to your anger and insecurities and wounds in that space that is guiding you essentially to communicate these things. So Taurus, that is your reading. We're going to move forward to Gemini. Gemini, this energy is happening in your third house from December 6th to January 6th, while Mars is in retrograde in the sign of Leo. It is going to leave the third house on January 6th, and it's going to stay into the second house until February 23rd. And so that is when Mars is going to be retrograde in the sign of Cancer. So Gemini, how this energy can work for you in the third house is you may find yourself doing a lot of local traveling. It may not be out of the country. It may not always be out of the state, but it can be. So with Gemini, during December 6th to January 6th, you could find yourself doing some sort of like traveling, whether it's for business or it's to really charge up an old passion of yours. This could be, something that is gonna irritate you a little bit. I would say be mindful of, when you're traveling, make sure you are paying attention to all the details in your vehicle, making sure that, the brakes are put intact, because, I gotta say everything with this energy. Third house, with Mars in retrograde, this could be accidents or it could be detours while you're traveling. So I'm going to say travel safely. Geminis, make sure that you're not rushing to get to a certain place. If you have to leave earlier to get somewhere on time, then do that, right? Allow yourself to really take your time while you're traveling. Don't rush a process here. This could also be if you're writing, maybe you were thinking of writing a book or, text messages, any form of communications, contracts, really taking your time. Be intimate, be passionate with what it is that you are communicating and putting out there, because it's going to be strongly impacted. And it can be taken the wrong way by some people because, again, Mars is in retrograde, so they may not understand that. But if it's something about an old passion and bringing that back to life, do it. I strongly recommend that this is something for you to look at. Now, when it comes down to your emotional body, if it's like anything that has to do with communicating with a sibling, okay, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, and stuff like that, you might receive certain like news. It may not be the best news, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be the worst news either. That may be something that comes up for you. If you do have like certain exes or something that come up trying to communicate with you during this time, this is again an opportunity for you to reevaluate what were the lessons that came about this person being a catalyst in your life, right? What was the symbolism? What was the lesson? What was the beautiful aspects of it? And then what were the toxic parts of it, right? And maybe cord cutting, right? So doing some cord cutting in that space. And then we have from January 6th to February 23rd, Mars in retrograde in Cancer in your second house. And so this is pertaining to your money. I really like this energy for y'all overall, Gemini. Even though it's a slow and steady wins the race, even though we're traveling, like I see you traveling, this could be traveling for work, right? When it's in the third house, it could be very successful. It could be that you're going to be traveling more outside than you're going to be inside, but this is going to be something that is going to be for your growth. It's going to teach you patience. It's going to teach you how to reestablish yourself and navigate yourself. You're going to learn so much from this experience here, right? Maybe you're going to be helping people that were in car accidents, or you're going to avoid a car accident by leaving early or taking the detour route, right? And so that's why it's important for you to navigate through this accordingly, not rush the process here. If there's, some issues in regards to anger or insecurities or doubt, or somebody is triggering you in some sort of way, be very mindful with how you're utilizing your words, because you don't want to burn any bridges that is actually is essential to your life, and is gonna make maybe you feel regret or something later on, right? This is something that you really want to be mindful of, how you're communicating yourself with others, right? In that your words are immaculate, that your words are your bond essentially, right? And in that you might find yourself separating, renegotiating your words and correcting your words. And if you're needing to apologize, right? If you're needing to reconcile in whatever areas it is that you need to do that, that might be something that comes up for you, right? While it's in the third house. And then when it goes to the second house, this is really going to have you reevaluating your values, reevaluating your money, your finances, your appearances, whether it's your clothes or how you're presenting yourself to others, right? And so that's why it's important to pay attention to how you're communicating, because there could be a shift. What you felt valuable in the past, it may not feel as valuable to you in that moment anymore. And one of the things that Mars in retrograde, one of the shadow parts of it for you, for the shadow work, is where I being, and trigger warning, y'all. This could be, some of y'all feeling like, was I being narcissistic? Was this person being narcissistic? Could I have treated this situation better? Could I have cared for this situation better? You're really going to look at what is really of true value to you in your life, whether it makes you money or not. See, the thing is, a lot of the times, especially when it comes to Mars energy, it is about the money. It wants to make money. And when money is slowing down or things aren't as the way it is, sometimes it can get a person to isolate, recluse, or even be aloof, right, towards others. And that can make for, ghosting or lack of communication could even be a thing in the third house, right? Which is why it's important, again, going into the communication aspect of it, where it's like, maybe you really don't feel like talking to people at the time, but there's ways of communicating that as opposed to just like ghosting. Because then when it moves to the second house, especially because Cancer is ruled by the moon, right? you might have a mood swing and want to communicate again with these people, and again you might end up regretting it, or it could be something that energetically it's like your money flow and you're you're gonna have to work harder. And truthfully, it's better to work smarter than harder with this energy, especially because it's more internalized. It's really gonna have you look at why were you talking the way that you were talking? Why were you doing the actions you were doing in a ways that really has you confront your insecurities and your doubts and those wounds, and really addressing that so that you can cut the cords and leave behind that which is not valuable to you moving forward again, because this can bring you, once it moves forward, this could bring you into a space of business success, right? You can find yourself with opportunities that like you were waiting for them to come in. You thought certain contracts were going to play out the way that they were going to play out. Maybe they didn't play out the ways that you wanted it, but come, in the post shadow phase after February 23rd, things start moving along better, right? And so that's going to be a very big thing for y'all. And I'm really excited for y'all to really get into that space of like reigniting any business endeavors that you may be contemplating on. Maybe you are an entrepreneur and you kind of put like your passions to the side for certain other things in life. And you find yourself like really contemplating on that and wanting to reawaken that aspect of yourself, right? And this is your opportunity. This is for you to really take this as a sign from the universe, right? From your higher self. Take this as an opportunity. That was the word I wanted to say. Thank you. Take this as an opportunity to initiate bringing this passion back to life. Okay. Again, this may not be about starting something new, because this is more about working on what needs to be worked on already, what hasn't been done, what haven't you finished, right? If you find yourself having a change of values, then this is really bringing you into the space of you let go, you cut the cords, you did what you had to do, you confronted your insecurities, maybe you shift your ways of communicating with others, maybe your heart opens up a little bit more, your passions are like really starting to get there. You went from a space of not really feeling motivated, but finding what it is that is true and near and dear to your heart again, that you feel it, right? And so you get to magnetically attract that, because your card is the Queen of Wands here. And so there, you can find yourself being very magnetically attracted to your desires, or people being attracted to you, wanting to communicate that with you, right? The second house is not just money, but and also you may wanting to dress well, right? You may find yourself changing the way that you eat, or helping others change the way that they eat, right? You may have something, maybe your business is around food or something like that. Whatever the case may be, this is a really attractive, alluring, and beautiful, passionate energy, Gemini. And I really like this for y'all. A lot of other zodiac signs have it a little bit harder. I really see that this in a beautiful notion for y'all to thrive on, to expand on, and that y'all are magnetically attractive at this time. So use your words wisely, especially with it being in the third house. Be immaculate, like I said, be immaculate with your words, and feel exuberant in your identity. Feel exuberant in the ways that you look and dress, and how you value yourself, and how you value your loved ones, and how you tend to that which you love, right? If you love somebody, you let them know. If you love, your career, you put the energy and the passions to that, right? And the shadow side is like not overworking yourself to where you're feeling burned out. You might feel like you need some rest at this time, and allowing yourself that balance of rest can actually magnetically attract to you that which is in alignment for you, because now you are not chasing but attracting. You're attracting that which is in alignment with what it is that you've been putting out there. And so trusting the process. Yeah, the Fool on the bottom of the deck here with those travels. I'm loving this energy for you. It does feel like there's old passions coming in that's bringing in a lot of new opportunities, and you're doing things in a new way. And so Gemini, that is your reading. We're going to move forward with Cancer. Cancer, this energy from December 6th to January 6th, this energy, Mars is retrograde in the sign of Leo. And so this energy is happening in your second house. And then from January 6th to February 23rd, this energy is going to be shifting into your first house of identity. So there's going to be major changes to your body, major changes to your look. This could be changes in your finances, in your career. Maybe you change a job, maybe you lose a job, and this is making you like really look at how you've been dealing with life, right? How have you been dealing with life? How do you portray yourself? How do you look at yourself? This is really gonna feel a little bit more isolating towards the end, especially from January 6th to February 23rd. And again, this can cause, because Mars in retrograde in Leo and Cancer can be aggressive speaking. And this is also for Leo, right? But I'll get there. Just for those of you who are listening, like, be very cautious and mindful with your words here, because you don't want to burn any bridges, and that is essentially going to lead to a shift in your finances that you may not realize the tether or the connection to the two, where all things are connected. There is no real separation, Cancer. And so Cancer, if you're feeling like a little bit of a bipolar effect, you're feeling like, you're getting mood swings, this could be that in your business, there's going to be highs and lows. Maybe your finances or your hours, if you're working for somebody else, maybe, your hours are up and down, or there's going to be financial things going on that's really going to have you questioning yourself, have you questioning how are you spending your finances, how are you utilizing your energy exchanges, what is worthy to you, do you feel worthy, right? Are you passionate about the things that you want? There's a lot. Your card is the 5 of Wands here. And so you could be feeling competitive also, or really aggressive speaking. This could be arguments that happen. The second house is money earned. So there could be certain challenges that come up to that with your finances. And this could be like, maybe you get into an argument with somebody at the workplace or something like that, and it leads to you needing to take some time off, or something happens where, you're either calling out or something, and this can jeopardize something long term, or being irresponsible. There's just a lot of challenges when it comes down to that area, and it's gonna be up and down, up and down. You might you might find yourself trying to ask somebody else for money or resources or something like that, and maybe they're not able to help you, again, because the second house is money earned. This is something that you're going to actually have to initiate the work for. Maybe you don't feel motivated to work. Maybe you don't feel motivated to do what it is that you have to do. But Cancer, that's part of your challenge, is to actually do what it is that you need to do to sustain what it is that you are financially responsible for, okay? And then when this energy is in the first house, this is actually like you getting back into your identity. This is you like questioning, do I want to still wear the same clothes? Do I want to, you might find yourself decluttering your closet. You might find yourself getting rid of a lot of clothes, or just downsizing on things. it's whatever the case may be, it's going to be a lot of internal reflection that's going on in regards to your identity here. And again, any issues with body complex here, Cancer. So if you have, if you've been you could be changing your eating habits. You could be feeling certain insecurities when it comes down to your image or your body, or wanting to make some alterations. I will warn to be mindful of any surgery, because this can be surgery also that happens with Mars and Cancer in the first house for you. Okay, unless it's absolutely necessary, I would get like a second opinion, or I will hold off. I would wait. I wouldn't make those major alterations to your body just yet. Really think these things through, because it can be something that is challenging for you. And so the live is actually going to end, and then we're going to move forward on to Leo. Moving forward, so Leo, the Mars in retrograde is happening in your sign as well as the sign of Cancer. And so from December 6th to January 6th of 2025, Mars is going to be retrograde in the sign of Leo, in your sign. And so this is going to impact you in your first house. But then from January 6th to February 23rd, it is going to impact you in your 12th house when Mars is retrograde back in Cancer. And so Leo, this energy is very, very intense for you. You may feel a lot of frustrations. You may be feeling the need to isolate, be cold shoulder. You might really be spewing up words of anger or insecurities, or lashing out onto others. There may be a feel or a need for like dominance or controlling, right? This is giving you the opportunity to really get acquainted with the roots of your frustration, of your anger, of why your sentiments or your emotions are what they are. This is giving you the opportunity to really do a lot of self-evaluation, so that you could improve and you could grow from these experiences, right? So giving you that sense of like shadow work to really reignite that lights within your being, right? Y'all are the sun, essentially, right? And so the sun does a lot of projections, but it does a lot of purification. It does a lot of enlightenment. And so there's going to be a lot here that's going to be illuminated to your shadows, Leo. And this is something that it may bring up times in which you felt rejected, neglected. You maybe have body insecurities. You may have shifted things in your personality trait. You may experience headaches or head injuries, and so you want to be mindful of that. Because again, Mars is also inflammation, it's surgery and whatnot. So, even just body injuries at this time could be a thing. It doesn't necessarily have to pertain to the head, but just the body in general. You may be seeing that your body is going through major changes at this time, be it your bones, be it your skin, whatever it may have you. It's going to influence everybody a little bit differently here. And so you want to definitely just do a lot of self-care at this time. And you want to be very particular with your words because of this energy happening in the first house and then in the 12th house. This has the ability to put you in a space of like frustrations and quick with the words and misunderstanding things, to where you could actually be burning bridges that are beneficial to you and that are nurturing to your being. And so you want to be mindful of not to self-sabotage, right, with that 12th house energy. Leo, when Mars is going in retrograde in the sign of Cancer and it gets to that 12th house, that's when you might find yourself really emotionally irritated or triggered and not really thinking, how can I go within and deal with this? You might be impulsively exploding out due to the emotional rush. Like Mars doesn't necessarily like to be in the sign of Cancer, and it can lead to arguments. The 12th house is hospitals, and it's also hidden enemies. And so you might find yourself coming across people or situations in which feel like opposition to you, and it's really going to be up to you to really breathe through the experience and get into the observer mode to actually know more or less if this is an opposition that is serving you to bring balance into your life, that's to bring harmony into your life, or if this is actually something that is a detriment to you, if this is something that you need to release and let go. Is this something, sometimes our own hidden enemies are ourselves, and we don't really take a look within, and so we don't realize that the enemy is making us self-sabotage by ways of being so consumed with our pride or our ego, right? And so that's what the Mars in retrograde in Leo in the first house is going to be bringing to your awareness, right? It's going to be illuminating areas in your life where you may have been prideful, where you may have been letting your ego create certain things, or even going into the 12th house, like fabrications in the mind of what certain circumstances are. And you may be utilizing your words because this is a Mars in retrograde. This can be arguments, this could be ghosting, this can be not being, this could be impulsive remarks, right? This can be manipulative words. However it may have you, there's a shadowy aspect to how you communicate, with also having Mars in retrograde. With this energy, it is a lot of room for burning the wrong bridges. And so you want to take your time. You want to be slow to action as opposed to impulsively or fast pace with your reactions when it comes down to this transit, Leo, because this can really make the biggest difference in your day-to-day personal life and how you view yourself, right? And so there could be psychological issues that come up for you. There could be things with the hospital, maybe either this could be spiritual psychosis even. So definitely a need for grounding. And Leos, I don't really know many of you to deal with like spiritual psychosis and whatnot, because y'all do a good job in like getting to your center, right? Essentially, Leos are known for letting the world revolve around them. Everything is self-centered to them. And so y'all do a great job with that. However, with this energy, especially when it's in the 12th house for you and it's in Cancer, your emotions are really going to come up for you to really do that deep shadow work, to stop self-sabotaging and realize that while your world is centered to you, there's a collective of other beings that are participating and contributing to your world. And there are ways, healthier ways to connect with the collective that doesn't become a detriment or a harm to others, but nor a harm to yourself. Essentially, what you put out is what you're going to be receiving at this time. And so if you're not doing the grounding work that you need to do, there could be, psychological foreplay that's going to, self-manipulation even. So this is a good time. You might even get past life memories coming through. You want to pay attention to your dreams here. There may be some alterations to your body. And I was saying this for Cancer, and this also goes for you. For some of you Leos, if you're feeling body complex and feeling the need to make changes to your body, I'm going to recommend that if there's any type of surgery that you were considering or thinking about during this time, that you reconsider. Maybe you get a second opinion, because there leaves a lot of room for error or challenges or things to go wrong at this time. And you definitely don't want to put that upon yourself and on your body. It's going to be a longer process to heal. It could be life-changing completely in a way that is quote unquote negatively impacted for you. And so, of course, if it's an emergency and you absolutely need to get some type of surgery done at this time and it's unavoidable, then by all means, this is not medical advice. You do what you need to do for your health, for your body. And all praises to the Most High in keeping you safe during that journey, right? And so, getting into that space. But it is not advised for you at this time to get any type of surgery. Again, it can lead to a lot of errors. If it's, especially if it's some type of like Botox, detox, not detoxing in a natural way, but I mean like surgical, right? Any alterations, implants and stuff in the body, you kind of want to wait till after February 24th. I would even wait till after May 2nd, which is the post-shadow phase period of this retrograde, just so that you're in the clear, and then decide whether or not you want to move forward with any of those surgeries here, because with a Mars ruling inflammation and surgical procedures and whatnot, and it being in retrograde, there could be a lot of confliction of the mind, or like convincing yourself of things, and then the reality of it can be detrimental to your body in itself. So you just really want to be mindful of that. Really do all your research when it comes down to any doctors or anything like that, if that's the case. Again, because you have this in your 12th house, and the 12th house is hospitals as well. And so that's why I bring up the surgeries specifically for y'all as well. Another thing that I want to share with y'all, when it comes down to really getting back into your body, you may be feeling called to isolate, to get more into a meditative state, to get back into your body, maybe do some self-love rituals. You may be finding yourself wanting to change your clothes or change your wardrobe, or even just finding yourself like in a phoenix rising type energy. There was something else I wanted to say here, Leo. Oh, you may be feeling more tired. You may be having a hard time sleeping, because Mars in retrograde is like less motivated. It's more inward. And it can go one of two ways. When it's in the first house, when Mars, is in retrograde in the sign of Leo from December 6th to January 6th, you may find it hard to sleep. But then from January 6th to February 23rd, you might find yourself needing or wanting more sleep, more rest. And so there's a big emphasis on balancing out your circadian rhythm, right? Your sleep patterns and whatnot. There may be some things in regards to abandonment issues that might come up for you here. But this is, again, a lot of opportunity for you to internalize and address any wounds that you may have. You may be feeling extra spicy and passionate and sensual during this time, or it may be the complete opposite, right? And so yourself. If you are on an average, feeling all of a sudden, especially when it's in the first house, Leo, when, this energy is in your sign, you're feeling spicy, you're feeling like, oh, let's get it on, sexual healing, like I could do with this. I'm Superman, I'm great, because it's gonna be very egoic for you. It's gonna be very like whisper in my ear, ego stroking, feeling good about yourself. and that like you're gonna just be feeling that energy more, right? But then, and it can be vice versa, right? From when Mars is in Leo versus Mars is in Cancer. So you know your body. The whole thing is about listening to your body. Afterwards, it can be like, you know, you not really being able to get it up because maybe you're stressed, maybe you're overthinking certain things, or maybe you're feeling insecure. There's some doubt, there's some frustrations, there's anger, and you're not able to really get sensual. You're not feeling as creative. You're not feeling like, you know, you're really in your true identity, and so you're not able to achieve the things that you want to achieve. These are certain things that can come up for you. And that's going to be challenging you even in your passions, and not just sex, but even in your creativity, even. And so again, because the 12th house is the house of the subconscious realm, it also is like dream time, you know, and sleep. And so some of you may be finding yourself just wanting to rest more, sleep more, do a lot of healing during your sleep time, whether this is lucid dreaming, this could be hypnosis even, this can be astral travel, or just like through meditation, or using spirituality, like spiritual tools or methods in a way to get yourself to heal your body. This will be very beneficial for you during this time. But in that also means that you may not be feeling as creative as you normally feel. So how that can look: if you are a musician or artist that like paints, draw, writes, whatever form of creativity, whatever it is that you create with, if there's like certain projects from your past that is coming up that you feel like you need to reignite with and recharge and rejuvenate yourself with creatively, but you haven't been giving it the attention because you've been giving another part of your identity or world the attention, you're going to be feeling more lethargic and depleted until you actually tap into that creativity that is so passionate to you, right? It's like giving you the reminder to not forget how to love yourself in the ways that you honor your creative projects and processes, and you get back to those that which you love. And so because the 12th house is also music and it's magic, right? And so finding the magic and the rhythm of the beat of your heart, of your passions, right? And so your card is the Justice card here with the head and the heart. So balancing your head and your heart to allow your Merkaba to truly guide you and try and have you traveling into the realms and the depths of your success, into the realms and the depths of your true identity here, healing the body complexes and insecurities, allowing yourself to be immaculate with your words, where they're intentional and they're compassionate as opposed to really aggressive or manipulative, right? Balancing that out is going to be a very important thing for you, Leo, at this time, right? And again, the first house is the conscious mind, and then the 12th house is the subconscious mind. And so really allowing yourself to tap into the mind, the universal cosmic mind, which is spiritual and can guide you beyond your ego and beyond the brain, right? And beyond the heart's intentions, right? Because the brain and the heart, those are physical manifestations of the mind, but the mind in itself is spiritual. And so there's a lot for you to balance that out here. You may be highly intellectual, or have be a charmer with your looks and whatnot, but perhaps maybe there's like a bitterness or a coldness or something in your heart space. And so it's asking you at this time to open up your heart some more. Or there could be, you know, certain issues when it comes down to your health that you're needing to address in your body. Whatever the case may be, there's a spiritual purpose and lesson that is connected to what the body is telling you at this time here. And you're going to feel a lot of changes in your body. There's going to be major changes in your body. So breathing into your body will be a form of groundingness here to bring in that balance. Okay. In the bottom of the deck here, we have the Three of Swords also. And so there could be a balance in regards to things that, again, looking at old passions, old wounds. Perhaps some of your identity had been built up from your past relationships, right? Perhaps there is subconscious behaviors that are self-sabotaging from a pain that, you know, it could have been your childhood, right? It could have been an experience that you had with a girlfriend from like the 3rd grade, or an experience that you had with like one of your parents or a sibling, or some sort of anger, resentment, jealousy, these types of energies that are subconsciously pinned in your body and your organs that you had been holding on to because you just kind of, you know, for lack of a better term, dust your shoulder. You dust it off. You didn't really acknowledge what it is that you're feeling. You're being called to feel the feels so you can heal it. You got to feel it to heal it. That's what you're being called to do right now, is addressing those wounds here, and let go any envy, let go of any jealousy, let go of any anger, resentment, insecurities at this time that is being subconsciously stagnating you from actual growth on a soul level for your true soul's identity and authenticity, to drop the mask and really be all versions of yourself in all spaces that you're able to be in. Because you can, the Merkaba, you can travel into all realms when you are truly in your true identity, right? But when you are still, and the soul's identity it's not about how we look at identity from an egoic stance, but it's not to take away that the ego serves a purpose. There's a reason why we have an ego, and to integrate these lessons and taking these lessons to where we're not causing harm unto ourselves and onto others, because we're still hurt from something that happened when we were 17, when we were 24, whatever ages. Right? When we were 6, right? Addressing those wounds, doing the shadow work. And in that, you know, vocalizing or communicating with others, hey, you know, at this time, I'm really feeling like I need to, take time for myself. I need to readdress anything. You don't have to give a full explanation, but communicating with others at this time why you may be distancing yourself is going to be a lot more beneficial than just like ghosting or cutting off people or burning bridges that may be very important to your life later on, right? And the same goes for work. Maybe if you're overwork or workaholic or whatever the case may be, and you're feeling like you need to rest your body, it's going to be more beneficial for you to take that time to rest so that you can be a lot more active, and not just active, but better equipped. That's the words. Thank you. Better equipped moving forward when Mars is out of its post shadow phase to do the task at hand that is called onto you to do. All right, y'all. So we're going to be moving forward to Virgo. Virgo, this energy is happening in your 12th house when Mars is in retrograde in the sign of Leo here. And that is happening from December 6th to January 6th. And then Virgo, this energy is going to change and go into your 11th house when Mars is retrograde in the sign of Cancer. And that's going to happen from January 6th to February 23rd. Right, of 2025. And if I keep saying 2024, y'all, please bear with me. I'm talking about New Year. And so Virgo, you're going to be feeling very isolated during this Mars retrograde. There's a lot of internal work that is calling on for you to do. This could be self hypnosis. This could be soul retrievals. This can be past life memories coming up to the forefront for you to connect with. This can be activating dormant abilities within your beings, right? This can be shadow work to heal those hidden wounds and any self-sabotaging behaviors. Maybe you're a perfectionist or something like that, right? And there's something about having to heal your control issues or something like that. If you deal with control issues, or if there's something that is a subconscious self-sabotaging tendency that you have, this energy is calling for you to really take a look at that. And so this is also a great time to get into like yoga practices in regards to meditation, maybe some yoga nidra even, which is, it's not exactly like hypnosis, but it's similar to it, to like reprogram the subconscious mind so that you can get out of your own way. This could also be a time period in which you find yourself just doing more of your spiritual practices and spiritual endeavors, or connecting with your soul, like especially because this energy is going to be big for y'all, Virgo. We do have the lunar nodes shifting in January as well into your sign. And so that's a whole other video. But I do want to put that emphasis out there because Mars is about movements, and the North Node is currently in Aries. And so Mars is impacting the identity of self. But then when the lunar nodes shift, the South Node is gonna be in Virgo, and so it's gonna be even more need to do the shadow work now and integrate the lessons for your ability to be able to move forward. Because this is just giving you a head start, right? The North Node is going to be in the sign of Pisces, so you'll be able to really look at any manipulation, fabrication, hidden enemies. You'll be able to identify these things later on by allowing yourself to be the observer, to be in this experience. I would definitely recommend a lot of water meditations at this time. Possibly even doing certain fasting or just spiritual practices, getting you to trust in your spiritual knowing, and being mindful of what it is that you are entertaining at this time and putting into your subconscious mind. Really, music or sound healing can be a big thing for you to heal from and heal through and even express out to others. Right, so if you're a singer or singing bowls or any form, drummer or instrument, whatever may have you, sound healing can be a big thing for you at this time. And then when on January 6th to February 23rd, when Mars retrograde enters back into the sign of Cancer, this energy is going to impact you in the 11th house, which is the house of the collective consciousness. This is the house of your angelic team of benevolent forces. This is the house of friendships. This is the house of and like being the environmentalist, right? And so there's so much opportunity for you to maybe start a community garden or put together some sort of like group gathering for maybe cleaning up the beach or cleaning up a park, whatever it may have you. This is giving you the opportunity to utilize your energy in a way that is going to help and serve the collective in a way of benevolence and in a way that is true to your heart and meaningful to you, that this is going to allow for you to create healthy, meaningful connections, okay? And so you might find yourself when it's in the 12th house needing to cut off people, places, situations, and things that is no longer in alignment with your soul's calling. That's not in alignment with your highest and greatest good and the highest and greatest good of all involved. You might find yourself when it's in the 11th house spending more time with friends or wanting to be more social in that way or network with others or be able to, you could either formulate some sort of community, like business, foundations, projects, whatever it is, funding, right? This could look different for, all of you Virgos. This could also be allowing others to, contribute and collaborate with you as opposed to just making it about yourself, making it about you, right? This is about really allowing others to also participate in this collective growth on a collective soul mission, if you will. Working together as a team and having those healthy connections around you. So your connections with others are going to play a major role, not just for this Mars retrograde, but again, like I said, the lunar nodes are going to shift next year in 2025. And so y'all being in the South Node, this is going to challenge, that need for perfectionism. This is going to challenge your ways of feeling how you feel connected with others, right? You may be feeling displaced. You may be feeling, and so this energy is happening here for you to really do the emotional work and address those wounds that put you in a space of having self-sabotaging tendencies or letting your past hold you back from your future, right? With it being in the 11th house, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to help the collective and be a part of the collective. And not just you help the collective, but the collective help you, vice versa. A even energetic reciprocal exchange here, right? For the collective's highest and greatest good. But that means that it doesn't mean that that reciprocation is going to be in just one space. How this could look is that maybe you have something to offer to the collective that the collective cannot offer you in that space, but the collective can offer you something else from this space that is going to be beneficial to you that you don't have, and you're open and able and ready to receive that and see it and work together with that energetic exchange so that it keeps everything afloat for the collective, right? And so your card here is the Knight of Coins. Yeah, so there could be money changes that's coming through from these collaborations here. There could be a shift of finances, or there can be some sort of physical, tangible offerings or things that come up that's gonna affect your physical world. And I feel like this is gonna happen when it's in the 11th house. In the bottom of the deck, we have the 9 of Rods here, the 9 of Wands, saying to preserve yourself, to not give up on your passions, not give up, slow and steady wins the race, because the Knight of Pentacles is also it's slow pace. It's a slow moving energy. It's not fast. It's taking its time. And with this energy, you could be feeling depleted. I feel like this is the 12th house energy. So from December 6th to January 6th, you're going to be in the 9 of Wands energy. But then moving forward from January 6th to February 23rd, you'll be in the Knight of Coins. There's going to be a bit more movement. And it makes sense. The 12th house, you may also have issues trying to sleep. You may have nightmares or a lot of messages in your dreams. But I'm saying nightmares because Mars is essentially like the war aspect. or a lot of passions. And so any fears that's holding you back from your passions, you can be dreaming about these things, and so you really want to pay attention to what your dreams are telling you in the symbolism, and who and what are the catalysts to those messages. But don't impulsively act on it, right? Sever whatever it is that you need to sever. If you're not feeling motivated or feeling like you need to do certain projects, this is actually your opportunity to work on your old passions and say, put your heart into it, put your mind into it as to what endeavors it is, projects that you had your heart into, your passions into, because especially if it's coming from a place of the subconscious realm where all that magic and potential is coming in to serve you. All right. Definitely take advantage of that. And it may be a slow process, but it is a process for you to actually actively work on. And then after the pole shadow phase, after May 2nd of 2025, you might actually see the increase of those results starting to come through for you. Okay, we're going to be moving forward to Libra. Libra, this energy is happening in your 11th house when during December 6th to January 6th, when Mars is in the sign of Leo. But then from January 6th to February 23rd, Mars in retrogrades back into the sign of Cancer. That's when it's going to be in your 10th house. Whew. So I did not bring something to drink with me right now. Libra, this is a beautiful energy for you to really collaborate with others, to build with others. You might find yourself being in a space of drawing community or working with others to bring some sort of environmental healing, cleaning, ascension to the collective. There could be earth angels that you connect with, again, because the 11th house is friendships, it's environmental, it's the angelic guides, right? And so bringing that light code frequency into the earth's grids with a collective, this could be something that you're feeling called to do. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to network with others. So who you connect with at this time is going to be important. I don't know. There was another word that wanted to come out and it didn't come out. But this is going to be vital to your energetic exchanges at this time. So being mindful of who you're entertaining, what you're entertaining, and what it is that you're doing, making sure that you're putting the effort to collaborate with these people, to at least connect with, even if it's not a full collaboration, just existing with the other soul, the other beautiful soul, and which is the divine mirror of your being, to get shit done on the collective is a form of participation, collective participation and collaboration, whether they're cognizant of it or not. But this is higher level thinking. You may find yourself being more telepathic at this time, right? You may find yourself having a lot of foresight as to what is going to be happening to the collective on a grand scale, on a greater scale. You might find yourself connecting with others on social media as well, right? Because the 11th house is very much connected with that social media energy. Hello, beautiful. So allowing yourself to really be open to receiving those healthy, meaningful connections that's going to be bringing ascension to the highest and greatest good of all involved, right? And then when it's going into the 10th house, this is your public reputations. This is your long-term contracts here. This is your career. This is, some financial. This could even be marriage for some of you. And so there is a big emphasis that these relationships that you're connecting with can serve you on a long-term basis, right? This is to reignite your old passions. Maybe you had a passion of, having a garden or something, and maybe you don't live in a space, maybe you don't have the land or the space, but there's a community garden, or there's a place that you can volunteer at, or whatever the case may be. You find yourself establishing these connections in which not only connect with like the wellness of your soul's integrity, but also your purpose, right? Feeling like, you know what, volunteering in this space, it wasn't about showing out to others. It was really about just being in alignment with my soul's purpose. This is not about people pleasing, though. I want to put that big emphasis to make sure that it's coming from a balanced place, because when Mars in retrograde, when Mars is in retrograde in the sign of Leo, you might find yourself like, yeah, no more people pleasing. I'm putting down those healthy boundaries as necessary with those vampiric entities and beings in the collective that have just been taking and not reciprocating that proper love frequency back into my life. And so learning to say no, essentially, right? It's going to be easier for you when Mars is in Leo. But when it goes back into Cancer, you might find yourself maybe feeling bad again, or a little bit more empathic in that and wanting to people please. And so there's a lot of shadow work that comes into these areas when it comes down to your public reputation, and when it comes down to your soul's integrity and greater higher consciousness here, and putting down those healthy boundaries and not people pleasing, but being in the alignment to serve with grace and gratitude to the collective. There's ways of being and doing that, right? There's ways of being your true, authentic self, which is what the 11th house wants to remind you of. And then the 10th house is like putting in the action and the work. And so you may feel less motivated in the beginning to take action, but you might actually find yourself, for some of you, there may be less motivation, but for a lot of you, what I'm really feeling with this energy is it's soul driven. It's soul driven. It's of higher consciousness. So you're going to be presented with opportunities that may shake up your fears a little bit. You might feel like, am I able to do this? I've been calling this in. I've been wanting to do this. Can I make it work? All these emotions are going to come up for you to make that massive breakthrough and actually be in the position of your soul's integrity, right? If you're dealing with insecurities, make sure you're confronting that. Be confident in the ability to say yes to the opportunities that are showing up for you to take at this time to connect with the collective and shine your light, shine your gifts. This may be like old passions of yours, or even current passions, or things that like you fell back from, you slowed down from, you didn't quite necessarily put in work on a day-to-day basis anymore from it, and it's real to you, it's true to you. This is not about people pleasing, it's about your soul. It's not even about your ego. You don't care how others will perceive this reputation of yours by connecting with this, because it's true and authentic to you in a way that your soul tribe finds you and is connected with you through that light that you are still holding on to. And they're giving you the opportunity to express this, whether it's through a business opportunity, or it's some sort of collaboration, whether it's through the internet, a workshop, whatever may have you. This is going to look like opportunities for you to be able to shine your light in that space. And then people are actually going to acknowledge your soul's identity and authenticity by you actually letting go of your insecurities, fears, and doubts to be successful in these ranges, in these spaces, in the places that your soul has been calling you to go into. And you're going to see that it's going to create a financial ripple in your life, because you're aligning with your soul's purpose. People are going to your public reputation is going to shift after this, right? And some people might not always have something positive to say about it, especially with Mars in retrograde. Let's just face it, people are going to be argumentative. You might find yourself arguing with some friends. You might find yourself arguing with people in the workspace. You might find yourself arguing with yourself as to, is this even the career that I want to be in? Or do I want to give these people my time and energy? And it's very important for you to know, if you are struggling at war with yourself as to where it is that you are working at, and it's not because in your hearts of hearts and in your soul of soul that this is where you're supposed to be. Like, if you're where you're supposed to be, but perhaps the people around you are just really irritating you, this is an opportunity for you to address your triggers. This is an opportunity for you to heal in those spaces in which you haven't allowed yourself to stand up for yourself, to put those healthy boundaries, to really allow yourself to be seen in the true light that you are, right? But if it's a fight because your soul and everything has been guiding you to a next level, to another location, to another space, to other opportunities. And these opportunities are coming up to you and you're saying no due to fear. That is you getting in your own way. And so you are to confront your ego in that. You're to confront your fears, right? This is why you're getting the reputation that you're getting, because you're not really standing in your true authenticity and in your light in that space. And so really allow yourself to embrace the opportunities. Your card here, yep. You have the Two of Pentacles here. You may be feeling like you need to, oh my God, I love this. So what I'm feeling with the Two of Pentacles, you also have the 10 of Pentacles here, right? And so the 10th house is also long-term contracts and generational wealth. And that is what is being passed down to you on a DNA level here. I do feel like you have a strong angelic protection and connection, especially with the 11th house energy, right? So that's this. You're literally balancing out your world. You're balancing out maybe your finances, or you're shifting between realms. You could be doing a timeline jump, a quantum leap, having faith in the unknown and really putting yourself to make certain decisions or balance out fun. Maybe you've been overworking. Hold on. Excuse me. Maybe you've been like overworking, right? And not because the 10th house is also your work, right? So maybe you've been overworking, not really allowing yourself to have fun. You just been focusing on family and home and work, but not really taking time for like friends, not really allowing yourself to take time for pleasure, something like that. This can be a reminder. Things are coming up to bring that balance back into your life, right? So balancing out your schedule, renegotiating your schedule, organizing in that way, in a way that you're allowing yourself to indulge in your hobbies while taking care of your priorities, while connecting joyfully with your soul's connections, right? With healthy, meaningful connections, with letting go of those that's not serving you, balancing out your mind, your mental wellness with your physical wellness. This is about balance in general. And with the 10 of Pentacles, these are the results here of that generational wealth. And so the 11th house also could be breaking, you collaborating with others, and then going to the 10th house to break generational traumas, essentially. So really taking this opportunity to address those things. We're going to move forward to Scorpio. And I'm going to read your comments in just a moment here. Infinite confirmation, gratitude, Libra moon presence, infinitely receive. Oh, gratitude. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to move forward to Scorpio. Scorpio, this energy is happening in your 10th and 9th house. So from December 6th to January 6th, when Mars is retrograde in the sign of Leo, that is when it's going to be in your 10th house. From January 6th to February 23rd, Mars re-enters into the sign of Cancer, in which it's going to be in your 9th house. Excuse me. Whoo, Scorpio, there's going to be major changes when it comes to your career, to your reputation, to how it is that you are connecting with your family here. This could be with long-term contracts or even marriages. And because Mars is in retrograde, this can be a divorce. This could be a separation. This could be a change of career. This can happen in so many different shades of light for you. This could also be reconnecting with an opportunity from a past lover, or that was like, not necessarily in a romantic way, but in a business way, some sort of, partnership, or maybe you could be dealing with certain contracts. There's a big need to renegotiate contracts or to evaluate contracts at this time. Don't just jump into a contract without actually reading it. This is going to be crucial to your journey moving forward at this time here. If you're feeling called to make a shift in your career, if you've been feeling this calling, if you feel like bringing something back into your career, or you feel like letting something go, this is how these things can manifest for you. There could also be, in certain areas where maybe you're not allowing yourself to really get into the passions of sexual pleasures, or just any type of deep intimacy, because you're focusing solely on work, right? Maybe you're not really allowing yourself to get intimate with your partner if you are married. And this is like a reminder of like, allow yourself to, not burn out that flame, that passion in your union, in your marriage. Or this could also be that, like, if there's a lot of arguments, right, to address those issues, and if these issues don't get addressed, it can lead to a divorce, essentially. And that's just something to pay attention to. A lot of the times people only look at the 7th house when it comes down to marriages, but because the 10th house is long-term contracts, a marriage is a long-term contract as well, and it's also about your public reputation in that. So there's going to be major shifts in your public reputation and how people are going to view you or look at you at this time. You may get a lot of people throwing shade. There's going to be a lot of changes nonetheless, and this is for you to really know how to balance it out. There could be certain like abandonment issues, or feeling like you need to finish something that you started at this time. That could be a thing that happens here for you, Scorpio. Let me see here. Insecurities in regards to like business or whatever. I'm getting like letting go any form of like imposter syndrome, or there's something about like changes in finances and separation as well that's coming through here. So really take a look at that. Maybe you do some sort of like cord cutting. Maybe you get into an argument with a co-worker or something like that, and it's about really being mindful, because you don't want to create subconscious warfare at work, right, with the people that you work with, just because you're angry or resentful or vindictive or spiteful or manipulative. Like, if these are some of your shadow tendencies or emotions, this is your opportunity to actually address this. But to be honest, because Scorpio, y'all ruled by both Mars and Pluto, this energy is going to be more benevolent to you, even though to others in the collective this could feel more malefic, right? Because this is a natural ruler of yours. So this is going to really bring you into a space of being empowered, right, in the workspace. You might find yourself not letting other people words bring you down when it comes down to your reputation, and standing firm on your square and cutting off all the illusions, cutting off the opinions of others, and standing in a position of leadership, right? That is definitely something that can happen for you, right? Where you're not letting the opinions of others hold you back. Essentially, like, you're like, I'm not gonna let you put me down. I'm gonna keep standing, I'm gonna be the leader that I am, and I'm gonna stand into this, and not in a space of like ego, or in a space of pride or vindication or revenge, even not from any of those spaces, but from an actual space from your soul that's like bringing you peace, not anger, bringing you from a space of like, I don't even gotta feed you any of my energy, because energy doesn't lie. Me being true to myself is really what's going to allow for me to thrive in my career, in my business, thrive in these areas. And the truth of my light is what's going to allow for me to travel into foreign places and new places. And you might be studying something new. You might actually find yourself considering traveling abroad or moving to outside the country with Mars in retrograde in Cancer. Now, there is a warning though, because Mars is in retrograde in Cancer. You may feel like you may be connecting with someone outside the country. You may be considering traveling outside the country, and there can be certain issues that come up for you at this time, that your emotions may be clouding your mind, and actually like having you think things through truthfully. And so really just being mindful of that. However, there's also the opportunity for you. So it may not be a go right now, it may not be a no completely. It may be a don't go right now. Right? I would definitely say that if you are considering traveling abroad, it will be most beneficial after May 2nd. That is after the post shadow phase. However, again, because this energy is coming in more benevolent for you, if everything is just showing in its divine alignment for you to go before May 2nd, then allow yourself to be open to the opportunities in which is going to be serving you for your highest and greatest good. This is going to bring you into a space of studying maybe from a different culture, different religion, or even expanding your philosophies, expanding on your culture, expanding on your religions. This is really gonna expand your spiritual awareness and higher level conversations and higher level learning here. This is gonna bring you more closer to your spiritual endeavors. And if you do have a spiritual based business here, you may be maybe doing a retreat or connecting with somebody abroad from a different country, and this is going to amplify your reputation, essentially, moving forward here. So there's a lot about spiritual awakenings, growth, studying, learning something new, and having, connections with something foreign from you. Some of you may actually have a complete belief system shift or revelation on something that has to do with spirituality. whatever the case may be, this is something for you to like consider and be open to if the opportunity is showing itself to you. And I love the traveling abroad. Maybe, you know, this is something that you've been calling in and giving yourself the opportunity to travel out the country, or even connecting for work purposes, maybe even online or something, with people from the other side of the world, maybe, you know, doing some sort of like workshop or spiritual work together, or maybe just even studying, right? If it's not a workshop, this could be getting a mentor that is from out the country or something like that. This shows here in alignment for you, as long as it's in connection with your soul's purpose here. Now, there is going to be a big need to do some shadow work while you're connecting with these outside of the country, when it comes down to your public reputation, and really readdress anything that has to do with like the ego, or separating. Okay. Your card here is the Queen of Rods, and it was in reverse here. So don't let any insecurities knock you off of your power. I would definitely be mindful of your words and manipulation at this time, Scorpio. Yeah, I do have the shadowy aspect of like control and power issues. And so you might be with it in reverse. This says like either you're afraid of your own power, or you could be manipulating others with your power here. And so it's really important for you to really take the opportunity to do the shadow work when it comes down to anything that has to do with control issues, anything that has to do with taking away the power of others, that, you know, to manipulate them, doing things with integrity, especially because the 10th house, right, like is naturally ruled with Saturn, and so the karma there and the integrity of the soul's contract is very important for you to do things with integrity. Allow yourself to be a magnet for that which is like attracting, not chasing. The Queen of Wands is all about attracting, and when it's in reverse, it can happen, you know, it's gonna happen at a different pace. So don't force the process, right? Maybe sometimes our control issues want things to happen at a certain time. So like, let's say I was talking about the traveling, right? Maybe you're being called to travel out the country, and you're trying to do everything in your power to get yourself to travel at a certain time, but the universe is saying, hold on, there's something here that you need to see. There's something here that you need more information on before you just jump on this plane and go over there, right? And so rather than forcing it, you know, because whatever the case may be, this is about surrendering the control to the divine, but also allowing yourself to grow and learn from the experience to expand your horizons. And I love this energy because it is still about attracting, and it's still about you being attractive and manifesting, but it's about letting go of control, manipulation, any anger and whatnot. And so we're gonna move forward here onto the next sign. Moving forward to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, from December 6th to January 6th of 2025. This energy is gonna be happening in your 9th house. That is when Mars is retrograde in Leo, and then when Mars retrogrades back into the sign of Cancer, from January 6th to February 23rd. This energy is going to be shifting into your 8th house. And so how this energy is going to happen for you, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to learn from different cultures. You may be finding yourself wanting to learn a new language. You may be finding it difficult, or maybe find yourself arguing with others that have different spiritual belief systems from you. This could be challenging your mindsets of what it is that you believe. But this is also you getting the opportunity to learn from other cultures, getting the opportunity to even travel out the country, right? Studying something new, having higher level conversations. Excuse me. This can be having some sort of like spiritual awakening even, right? Because of the ninth house being foreign, abroad, spiritual beliefs, religion, philosophies even, right? This is really like your day-to-day communication of higher consciousness, higher conversation, thinking in a way that is not as realistic, but it's also knows how to have fun. It's about finding the philosophies in life. So even like conspiracy theories or whatever the case may be, this is some of that energy of how it can work for you. Right? And then with it being in the 8th house also, this is not the life for that, y'all. Give me, pay attention, read the energy in the room. Like if y'all really paying attention to what I'm doing, y'all want to join, but y'all not really paying attention. I see y'all writing, I see y'all asking questions respectfully. Put yourself in divine alignment. Put yourself in divine alignment and read the energy in the room. I'm doing certain readings and I'm having to cut what I'm doing right now to address y'all in the room. Y'all asking questions, right? If y'all, I put a special in my stories. If y'all have questions that bad that y'all need answers to, respectfully, respect my energy. Respect my energy and come accordingly. If you're not going to come accordingly, y'all going to get what y'all going to get from me. And I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give it to you raw and you can feel whatever you want to feel about it. Address your emotions about it. Check your ego. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. I don't care how that make you feel. You want to leave? Peace the fuck out. I'm going to be in my true wholeness. I love you, I like you, I care for you, and I care enough for you to tell you where the fuck you fucking up. Open your eyes, wake up, read the room, read the energy in the room. I'm busy, I'm doing something. It's either you're allowing yourself to be in the divine alignment of the messages that's coming through, and you're participating by holding space with grace for these messages to come through to the collective. Or you're subconsciously being a fucking energetic vampire hoarder and trying to distract the space. Figure yourself the fuck out. But I don't got time for you. So no, you can't join. Nobody can join right now. I'm doing readings for the Mars retrograde. If you want to inquire so bad, then respectfully inquire in my DMs and come with the proper energetic reciprocation for that, or don't hit me up. That's it. Period. And I apologize to all of you that are here holding space and had to hear that. It's really frustrating when this is like the third live I'm still doing and they're asking and still coming in. Like, now I'm going to have to edit this shit for the replay, y'all. We were doing Sagittarius, right? So, power controls. I'm probably going to have to start over with Sagittarius because I don't even know what was the tether of thought. Give me a moment here. Let me take a breath. So Sagittarius, when this energy goes back into, when Mars goes back into the sign of Cancer from January 6th to February 23rd, this can be power struggles. This can be, you needing to address any type of fears. This could be even tapping back into magic even, or practicing magic, or getting into some occultic studies. This can be gaining foresight, or even getting an amplification of your spiritual abilities here. There's going to be a lot of mysteries. There can be maybe secrets that you find yourself keeping from others, or a secret being told and revealed onto you at this time that is frustrating. This could be news, like bad news that you're not necessarily liking at the time. And so, it's going to trigger your emotional body. This could also be on a shadow side. Be mindful, Sagittarius, if you're having like random sex sex. There could be major consequences that happen from this. And so on a shadow side, this can be like maybe, because it's Mars in retrograde, this can be like an STD or even a spiritually transmitted demon, or disease or something like that. Some sort of energetic tether that has to do with sex, that has to do with control, that's not really serving your highest and greatest good, that you're gonna have to take extra time to heal from, right? This is also maybe you getting into the space of being aware of your anger issues, any insecurities, maybe if there was some sort of abandonment issues or things like that is kind of taking you away from your own magic. So your invitation is to call your power back. And I'm gonna keep it real. I was gonna edit what I just needed to edit, but that's a great example of having to readdress the energies in the room. So I'm probably not even going to edit that last part out, right? And sometimes there comes a point, there are ways of addressing issues that's not so aggressive, right? But there are certain times, Sagittarius, in which, maybe you're a little bit too passive, and there's a need for you to address things with a little bit more oomph and power and declaration of things. This can be a recension of contracts, even also. The 8th house is also other people's resources, it's taxes, is other people money. So you may find yourself either needing to borrow money from others or even just randomly receiving money from others. This can be old debts being paid off. This can be people that owed you money, or certain past opportunities coming in from random seemingly random places, right? From unknown places or whatnot that like comes in, so you might find yourself getting like money in your bank account that you're like, what the hell, where did this come from? Or somebody just like, hey, I know your birthday was XYZ, but here you go. Or maybe even a stranger just comes in and is sharing their resources with you, right? And so this, with Mars in retrograde, there's a lot of opportunity for that, for other people's resources and monies to come into you, to assist you and guide you in your journey, right? Because the 9th house is also your pilgrimage, right? And so, like I mentioned, the spiritual pilgrimage is a journey you're going to be taking with this Mars retrograde. Now, with that, you're going to have to let go of certain fears or attachments, or if there's like old debt that needs to be paid off, you might have to confront these things at this time. Maybe do some sort of like letters. This could even be cord cutting from old lovers or situations that maybe you had a joint account with or something like that, right? This could be some sort of, speaking of joint account, if you are married and you have a joint account, or even some sort of like business partnership and you have a joint account, maybe you get into an argument about how the money is being spent or where the money is going, or needing to readdress how the finances are going with that, right? Maybe you come up with a collective resource here for others, right? You're able to be a provider to bring resources to the collective. But nonetheless, this energy here, any money that comes in is more from the collective reciprocation of your energy. So if you're finding yourself having more resistance or a tough time financially during this energy, you're being asked to broaden your horizon of your consciousness with money. here, and look at money as a form of energy here with the 9th and 8th house, so that you could allow yourself to receive. If you're not receiving the financial reciprocation, is it because you are holding yourself back based on your belief systems of money? Is it that you have some control issues or fears or something pertaining to that area, and this is for you to be readdress? Or have you just been a straight up hole, right? An a-hole, a manipulative, being, or something that has been mean and vindictive. Not to say that a lot of you Sagittarius are actually like that, because Sagittarius are known as for justice. Also, people think it's Libra, but Libra's about more balance. Sagittarius is more about hitting the mark, right? Being without sin, if you will, right? Being the benefactor to things. So this can be, if you're not seeing any money about that, it's more than likely about fears and your conditions of the mind. And Spirit is asking you to think bigger, look bigger, allow yourself to receive more than what you have been allowing yourself at this time, Sagittarius, right? Because you are naturally abundant, right? But this is also the opportunity for you to, what was I going to say? That was a good channel too. That was a good message. 8th house, fears. Energetic reciprocation. I don't know. I just lost my train of thought when it came down to what I was going to say. If it's important, it'll come back. But it was with the 8th house here. Other resources. You might also find yourself getting, oh, there we go. Thank you. This could also be an inheritance, right? Some sort of death and transformation. Maybe somebody passes away in your family, and you get some sort of inheritance that comes to you at this time as well. That's something that is a potential for this energy here. Some sort of like maybe you or somebody puts you in their will, or you create a will, or you create a trust fund. This is something about like generational wealth here, and letting go of the generational traumas here, essentially. And so you have the Chariot energy, and I love this energy for you, Sagittarius, moving forward. This says that there's going to be a lot of victory here. This is a lot of spiritual guidance and your Merkaba activations for you to travel into the spaces and realms in which is going to bring you those opportunities to be more successful. It's going to bring you into the spaces where you're releasing your fears. So this is the thing, right? Sagittarius energy is about expansion, right? And with that, sometimes we let our fears get in the way of our expansion. And with this activation, you might be called, you might be pushed into a space in which you have to confront those fears, so that you can truly expand and evolve for your greater consciousness, for your higher level, for your next level, your level up, for your peace of mind, right? And so maybe before you take a trip to the Bahamas or out the country or something like that, you're needing to address certain things that brought you fear, right? So doing the shadow work is going to bring you to a space of liberation. And I do see victory here for you. Yeah. And strengthen the bottom of the deck here. Strengthen the bottom of the deck. So there could have been some sort of abuse, even maybe some addiction, some abuse. This is also on a shadow side, y'all, with the Mars in retrograde. This could have been physical abuse, not just verbal abuse, right? And so being very mindful of what you've tolerated in your life because of feeling unworthy, feeling insecure, maybe being too passive, right? Maybe, whatever the case may be, this energy is really asking you to address the wounds within yourself that you are too afraid to address or confront. You're gonna have to confront and address your fears during this time to bring the expansion that is going to bring you greater longevity and generational wealth. Okay, Sagittarius, I love this energy for you. We're going to be moving forward to Capricorn. Capricorn, hello, beautiful divine soul. Thank you for joining us, Renee. Capricorn, we're going to be moving forward to your energy here. And so from December 6th to January 6th, 2025, Mars will be retrograde in the sign of Leo in your 8th house. Then on January 6th to February 23rd, Mars is going to go back retrograde into the sign of Cancer, in which it is going to enter your 7th house. Whew. Again, this energy here is really asking you to tap into getting out of your own way. The 8th house is other people's resources. It is taxes. It is generational energies, generational wealth or traumas here. This is death and rebirth here. The 7th house is also marriage. It's your relationships, right? And so I'm bringing both of these up for a reason, Capricorn, because there could be a magnetism to your energy at this time that is going to bring you into alignment with healthy, meaningful relationships, especially romantic here. There could be a need to let go of a past relationship or something like that. Let go of fears. Maybe you've been single for a long time and you've been scared of dating, and I get it. You know, maybe you were scared of dating or something, but you find yourself, going into the spaces in which brings you absolute love and passion to your being, and you find someone there in which can bring you like a long-term relationship or marriage even, or something like that here. This could also be past, having to address an old marriage or getting into a divorce or something like that. The 8th house is also fear and is death and rebirth. And so this gives you the opportunity to meet a lot of transformation. This is also a lot of opportunity for you to receive from the collective any financial assistance, right? This could be financial assistance from the government. This could be financial assistance from your peers. This can be just even not just financial assistance, but even other sources of resource here that the collective is able to assist you with during this part of your journey here. So being open to that reciprocation. This could also be exploring your shadow side in a way that has spiritual protection. This could be occultism, magic, sexual energy, whether it's sexual healing, BDSM, maybe you're into those kinks, or maybe even abstaining from sex in certain cases, right? Hi, sis, what a beautiful time. Yes, thank you for coming in. And so, have those safe words ready if you're feeling extra spicy, extra kinky here, because with Mars in retrograde, if you are into like the BDSM scene or into certain kinks, something can happen where it can go a little bit crossing that boundary. So you're going to want to have your safe word ready. This could also be that you allow yourself to step into those kinks and, not just have them as a fantasy, but actually explore these realms and these, fetishes in this way. This could also be breaking habits of addiction, of obsession, even if you had any form of OCD or something like that, really having to confront your addictions, your obsessions, and find healthy coping mechanisms and cutting the cords, reshaping how that addiction has been serving you, and actually find another outlet, right? So essentially removing those addictions out of your life here. And so really paying attention to that, so that this brings you into a great divine marriage with yourself, with your higher self, essentially, so that you are in alignment with healthy, meaningful connections, right? This could also be drugs. This can be, so many different ways of how this can manifest for you. Right? This could be maybe, somebody giving you, you get an approval for a loan. For some of you, this could be getting a denial for a loan. But I'm really feeling, because Mars is exalted with Capricorn energy, I really do feel like this energy is coming through more benefic for you than it is more malefic for a lot of those in the collective that have other signs. That is a different zodiac sign. And so you're really gonna want to pay attention to all, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, for the collective, for the overview. You want to look at your Mars, you want to look at your sun, moon, and rising to get a better overview of how this energy can manifest for you, especially if you are a Capricorn born at night where the sun was set, the sun is not in the sky. This could be more of a benefactive energy for you, more beneficial for you, right? The 8th house is beneficiary, so you can gain an inheritance, right? There could be something that transpires or transforms, or maybe somebody transitions and you're in the will and you receive certain benefits from this. This could be government benefits. This can be, from a trust fund or will, or some sort of inheritance that comes to you here. But even if it's not those things, this is telling you that you will benefit from this Mars in retrograde energy. So letting yourself let go of the fears, getting out of your own way, really mitigating any anger or insecurities, or the wounds that you may subconsciously have or even consciously have, right? Allowing yourself to address it with compassion and love is going to lead to healthier, meaningful connections, in which is going to bring you longevity, is going to bring you more business success, is going to bring you more opportunities for you to thrive in the 7th house, right? When it moves forward in a way that Cancer also rules the moon. So there's going to be a fluctuation and a change in your finances, right? So that's something. Now, if you are a Capricorn and you was born in the daytime, it may feel a little bit more difficult with this energy. You might find yourself, going through a breakup or getting a divorce, or, maybe there was some sort of cheating or some sort of secret or something that comes to the forefront that, maybe it hurts your feelings and it triggers you and it gets you to a space where you're feeling that sacred rage. Even though these seems like quote unquote bad things, is actually happening in your benefit, because now the truth is revealed onto you. The 7th house is the house of open enemies also. So there could be a big revelation as to who is really loving on you from a true healthy space, from a space of unconditional love, from a space of, honoring your soul's highest and greatest good here, right? There could be either a secret that is revealed from a partner or somebody who you truly trust, and it gets out in the open. It's for you to not ignore this shit anymore. Maybe you were enabling your relationships. Maybe you were enabling or giving a lot of excuses, or just trying to pretend that certain things didn't exist so that you can keep this relationship functioning and thriving. Or maybe you were the only one putting in the work, and you were being called to sever this relationship, to cut the cords, cut the ties, so that you could actually receive the benefits from the collective that you deserve to receive, right? On a soul karmatic justice way. Because the 7th house is, again, soul contracts, right? It's your soul's contracts with your relations to others, right? There could be certain changes when it comes down. If you are married, maybe your partner goes through some sort of financial shift, right? And this financial shift could be an increase of finances, right? In which maybe maybe you're having some difficulties with your finances, and your partner is having to help you with your finances at this time. Or you find yourself, you know, maybe your partner's like, hey, you know, I've been seeing you really wanting to invest in your passions here, or not just your partner, but a healthy connection, some sort of partnership where somebody wants to invest in your passions, in your business. And, you know, you don't have to necessarily, you know, work at the other place, or maybe you do, whatever. But I feel like somebody coming in to help put in an investment into your passions and in your soul's contract here. And so really paying attention to who's investing in you at this time, and who is just trying to take from you, as this is really a time for you to allow yourself to open to receive, and especially in the areas in which you have been blocking yourself, or getting in your own way, or being doubtful, and letting your insecurities not really allow the penetration of source to bring that creative cosmic orgasm into your passion, so that you can thrive, right? So that this can bring you longevity here. For some of you, like I mentioned, this can be getting into a new relationship, or bringing your relationship to the next level. And so you're really going to have to pay attention to this, right? If your relationship is in a space where y'all are just super argumentative, y'all not finding resolutions, y'all not meeting eye to eye, maybe maybe y'all giving each other the silent treatment, this is for you to address that. This is not the time for you to be giving each other the silent treatment. This is not the time to be vindictive or hurtful or spiteful to your partner. This is about allowing yourself to cut the egoic cords of pride and get into the truth of your soul's purpose with each other on as a catalyst. How are you serving each other? How can you make love to each other, right? Sex is in the mind first, and so really honor each other's thought processes and honor each other's souls in general, right? So tending to your soul's contracts. This could also be rescinding certain contracts, to really bringing yourself to a declaration of sovereignty, whether it's mind, body, spirit, physical, or all the way through, all the way around. You may find yourself studying these things, or just like calling back your power is the greatest thing that you can do at this time, Capricorn. Again, if it's not like, if you're not seeing it physically with yourself, this could be that your partner, if you are in a relationship or a marriage specifically, you may see that your partner is going through certain financial shifts, and again, they could either help you out, or you might be helping them out. Some of you may get into an argument because of maybe your partner loses their job or something like that, and now you're letting money get in the way of the household and the resources, or y'all not having sex because the money ain't right, the resources ain't right, whatever the case may be. This is going to be different for everyone. Again, these are general collective messages for your zodiac sign. If you would like to dive deeper into your personal sign, then you can reach out to me and we can schedule that. But overall, this is the potential of how this energy has to turn out for you. And then we have the Page of Coins here. Yeah, so the Page of Pentacles here. There could be some sort of engagement. There's the Strength card here. There could be some sort of engagements, an apology, a gift, or some sort of like surprise elements, some news, even like a tangible news. This is more like a gift, right? Or a message that is pertaining to finances, even like I said, somebody giving you some sort of resources or money exchange coming in here. Or even coming to new endeavor, or getting into some sort of financial literacy even during this time. This could be something that y'all might practice and get into. And with the Strength card in the bottom of the deck, having those healthy boundaries. Remember, I spoke about the safe words, right? So if someone is trying to cross this boundary, if somebody's not reciprocating the same love, the same efforts, the same energy that you are putting out, or even contributing to pouring into you at this time, because Capricorn, with this being the 8th and 7th house, this is really about your connection with others and how they are pouring into you at this time. Maybe you've done so much pouring into others that is now time for you to allow yourself to reciprocate that love frequency, the abundance, right? The financial shift. Maybe it's time for you to be open to receive that and let others reciprocate that onto you. Okay, we're going to be moving forward to Aquarius. Aquarius, this energy is happening from December 6th to January 6th. This is happening in your 7th house. And then from January 6th to February 23rd, this energy is happening in your 6th house, when Mars is going back into the sign of Cancer. Aquarius, oh my gosh, this energy can be really triggering for your day-to-day routines, okay? But this energy is really asking you to evaluate your connections with others, your relationships. Are you being too aloof? Are you really, coming out in an aggressive way with the ways that you're communicating with people? Are you cold during this time? Or are you feeling like left behind? Do you have some abandonment issues or insecurity, anger, resentment, or something that is holding you back from really, maybe you don't feel seen. Maybe there's some neglection. There is something that you're working through healing at this time that is once you allow yourself to go through the shadow work and healing those areas, right? Because that's when Mars is retrograde in Leo. There could be a lot of pride in this space that you had in your relationships and you not really wanting to take accountability or look at. But once you address these areas and you step your ego to the side and you look at it from a higher perspective and you allow compassion, mercy, and love to come into this space, this is going to elevate your relationships to the next level. This is going to bring your relationships to the healthy, meaningful connections, to that sacred marriage and union with source and self, right? With others. You're gonna be able to have justice in your favor, balancing things out and bringing harmony. But there's also gonna be a lot of separation that's gonna happen for you, Aquariuses, at this time. Maybe you find yourself disconnecting from people that's not honoring your light and your shadows, right? They're not honoring you as a whole being and in your wholeness, right? And a sacred marriage is just that, the wholeness of the Divine Mother and Divine Father and the Holy Spirit energy within thyself. We all carry this energy, right? That Trinity energy. And with it in the 7th house here, you might find it challenging to maybe you have a partner, maybe your partner wants to do something for like your birthday or something like that coming up, and there's some difficulties surrounding that where they're not able to meet your expectations, or things don't go according to plan. And so minding your temperament at this time with grace, as opposed to being upset and angry at them for something that may be beyond their control. I'm not sure who needs to hear that, if that's something that's going to be coming up. But there could be a surprise element also. Maybe your partner wants to do something passionate for you that, you've been wanting to do for a really long time, and maybe you weren't able to do it. Maybe it was finances, maybe it was emotional, mental, whatever the case may be. There was something holding you back from this, and maybe they're gonna bring that surprise element for you to actively participate in experiencing that which you're passionate about and getting to explore this. But maybe they're not telling you, so you're feeling like they're being sneaky. You're feeling like, and so, you know, being mindful of your thought processes and not being so pessimistic at this time, because it could very much be something that is healing to your psyche, healing to your soul, healing to your day-to-day activities and experiences, right? And now, you know, come the day and they surprise you and you're like, wow, we have been arguing for the last week because I felt a type of way because of my insecurities or doubts, or, you know, you being sneaky in that way, and like you were really just trying to surprise me and bring me, you know, a birthday gift that was in alignment with something I've been trying to do for a long time. I don't know why I'm channeling that energy, Aquarius, for y'all, but I do feel like you have a partner that is really passionate about you, that wants to love on you. And so any form of neglect or abandonment issue, rejection, insecurities, anger, you're really being advised to look at this and do the shadow work, do the healing in these areas, so that you're not causing a detriment or arguments or a hindrance into your marriage or your connection with your relationships here. On a beautiful aspect of it, though, you're going to be reignited with your old passions. You're going to be able to harmonize this into your day-to-day activities, right? Into your day-to-day habits, right? So you'll be creating new habits through this shadow work, right? And on the shadow side, it could be, you know, that you're not meant to be with this person. Maybe somebody is being sneaky and, you know, it's time to separate or divorce or something like that. And or maybe you just went through a divorce and now you're feeling cold, especially when it gets to the 6th house from January 6th to February 23rd. You know, maybe you really just find yourself needing to do the healing work and getting back into your power. You know, tapping into the healer within yourself. The 6th house is also, not only is it daily habits and activities, like day-to-day work. Also, this is also your work. This is your habits. This is also pets. Maybe you find yourself unexpectedly getting a pet and you're like, oh my gosh, this is another responsibility, or you know, I don't have the patience for this pet. Or maybe maybe you have a pet and your pet has to go through surgery or something like that. Or maybe you have to make a decision to put this pet down and it's like really hurting you inside, and there's some sort of like grievance process that you're having to go through at this time. These are things that can manifest. I would definitely pay attention if you do have pets. I would pay attention to their health. But again, because you are naturally ruled with Saturn, and this energy could be beneficial to you too. So maybe you unexpectedly get a pet into the house and it like brings you great joy. It reconnects you to your passions. It reconnects you to versions of yourself that maybe you left behind or you put dormant because somebody else, maybe you were having to heal from a toxic relationship. Maybe you were healing from some sort of like narcissism or masochist energy. Whatever the case may be, you were dealing from some sort of abusive energy and having to heal from that space. Maybe you get an emotional support animal or a service animal, or just, you know, re-sparking that energy, right? That is going to be something that you're adding new to your day-to-day routines, to your day-to-day habit. This could also be that maybe you have some difficulties traveling, or maybe you had car issues, right? Because Mercury was in retro, or will be in retrograde during some of this period here. So maybe you have some car issues or something like that, and you weren't able to like travel in the ways, and then you find yourself getting a new car, or you find yourself, you know, maybe your partner co-signs for you to get the approval for the car or something like that, right? This could be financing a new vehicle or traveling into the spaces where you're going to be more by the time May 2nd comes, you're going to find yourself a lot more active with new day-to-day habits and experiences here. But the major thing here is about healing. Now, you might find yourself having to take, go to the hospital or something like that. And so if there's anything that has to do with surgery, more than likely this is either healing from a surgery. Maybe you had surgery and your body's still healing from this space, and you're just going, maybe you have doctor's appointments that you have to follow up with that's pertaining to these surgeries. Or you might find yourself getting certain consultations. Now, I am going to say this, like I said, for Leo, and I recommended that everybody listen to them, was to Leo and Cancer's energy, because this energy is surrounding those zodiac signs as a whole during this retrograde. Is if you find yourself needing to go to the hospital or have some sort of unexpected surgery, if it's an emergency thing, I 100%, again, this is not medical advice, I'm not telling you what to do here. If it's an emergency, then do what you have to do. But if this is not something that is an emergency, and this is something that with y'all, I feel like it would be a little bit more beneficial if you did do the surgery. However, I would consider all surgeries after May 2nd, after this Mars in retrograde, so that there's no error. There could be certain body inflammations that you have to deal with and whatnot. So just really taking caution to this. I would practice more breath work, Aquarius. I feel like this is going to be crucial and beneficial to you, especially with like your lungs, any headaches or something like that you have. If you're dealing with some sort of anxiety, allow yourself to like calm down, breathe deep and slow. If you're used to fast pace, there may be things that need to slow down for you at this time, and be okay with that. All right. Let me see. Let me get one card. I totally almost forgot to get your card here. Aquarius. Let's see here. Moving forward here. Aquarius with the Mars and retrograde energy. Oh, there we go. In the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Swords here. So needing to make a decision. And like I said, there could be some sort of cord cutting here that needs to happen from an old relationship. Maybe there was a separation that you went through that you're still healing from, and you're being guided to, we have the Page of Wands. So there could be maybe some news pertaining to surgery. Like I said, this could be news of a breakup or cord cutting or need to release, or something that is coming out of your life. This could feel like bad news even. So I just got to give you all the the elements of how this energy can play out, because again, Mars is about separation, and it's going to be in retrograde. This could also be cutting off the pessimistic thoughts for you to be able to heal in a way that's going to allow for you to thrive with healthy, meaningful connections, right? Maybe readdress how you view relationships or marriage or something like that. There could have been some sort of tether, or you feel like there's a cutting cord, a cutting of communication with somebody that you was once in a relationship with or something like that. Or there could be some sort to come out with a healthy outlet for communication even. Okay. All right. So we're going to move forward to Pisces. Mars in retrograde in Leo is going to be happening from December 6th to January 6th of 2025. And that energy is going to be happening in your 6th house. And then Mars will be retrograding back into the sign of Cancer from June 6th to February 23rd. And that energy is going to happen in your 5th house. Whoo, talk about healing and inner child and being seen, right? There's going to be a lot of being called out to be vulnerable at this time. There's going to be a lot of confronting your inner child wounds. If there's any rejection issues. Maybe you didn't feel seen growing up, right? The fifth house is about being seen. The fifth house is about what it is that you entertain. It's about the inner child. If you have children, maybe you find yourself aggravated or frustrated with your children, wanting to argue with them or be more aggressive. And there's a message from spirit that's saying, like, don't repeat any abusive patterns or traumas onto your children, or mind how your tendencies of how you communicate with that. Maybe allow yourself to center with your inner child and make peace with and love and nurture your inner child, so that you can love and nurture onto other children, including your own if you have, or others as well. Talk to them, nurture the inner child at this time. There's going to be a lot of changes when it comes to your daily habits, your daily routines. When it comes down to work, maybe you have a career shift at this time. You might find yourself needing to do more healing, and this healing can happen from a relationship, because the fifth house is relationships. This is also like flings or stuff like that. And so if you're finding yourself feeling like, you just want to have a fling thing or something like that, it's not really advisable for you at this time, but it is advisable for you to like nurture on yourself and like allow yourself to tap back into your confidence. Now, if it's not a fling, but it's to grow into a relationship, this could be a shift in your relationship here happening. In certain cases, because Mars is in retrograde, this could be a separation from a relationship that you need to heal from, because the sixth house is about healing. This could also be, again, the sixth house it rules over pets. So maybe you have a pet that you have to maybe put down, right? Or that has to go through some sort of surgery or something during this time, and it's bringing you to a lot of like sadness or emotional triggers, and feeling any form of abandonment issues or rejection or neglection, these type of anger, insecurities, sex, any type of wounds that you have to address. This is going to come in strong for you to heal from the to do the shadow work, to heal from these energies here, and having to confront this energy. It may feel sad, but there, you can't run away from this energy. This is something that spirit is really causing you to confront. This energy feels more internalized, right? And you may not feel motivated to do the things that you have to do, but that pain is not for you to get busy to cover the pain. It's for you to actually allow yourself to heal in the areas in which you feel abandoned, in which you feel anger, where you feel insecure, where you feel, maybe there's some sexual healing that needs to happen. Maybe, you just need to really connect intimately with your sexuality without guilt, without shame, and really get into those space with your partner. But it's also like, do you use sex as the only healing mechanism and tool in that? And is that something that you need to heal from, right? For everyone, it's different. So you're going to know where your story is. This could also be like if you have a pet and your pet gets pregnant, maybe they have difficulties, or you want to be mindful of this pregnancy. This could also be, maybe some of you Pisces, maybe you get pregnant. And I didn't say this for Aries, but it applies with Aries too. Maybe you find yourself getting pregnant and maybe having an abortion or miscarriage, or having to go through some sort of surgical procedure to your womb, and that's something that you're having to confront or address. Or maybe you had one of those in the past, and you're being emotionally triggered at this time, or your womb is asking you for that type of healing, to heal from these situations. Maybe some of y'all had to go through some sort of surgery that you had to make a decision that it changed your whole lifestyle and your day-to-day routines. And so these are things that you know, you're really, and my ear is ringing loudly. So I feel like some of you are clairaudient and you're being directed to heal in these spaces that is going to allow for you to reactivate your old passions, to reunite the things that maybe you had certain projects that you were really wanting to tap into, but not until you do the shadow work and you address these issues where you be able to truly flourish and be seen in your true divine victory and light moving forward, because the 5th house is a house of entertainment as well. So being mindful of the energetic exchanges that you're entertaining at this time. It is about being seen and putting yourself out there in social media, right? And so maybe you might find yourself changing, you know, for those of you who maybe are like entrepreneurs, maybe you find yourself changing the way that you are marketing or putting your you know, utilizing your social platforms or some sort of like networks, and really allowing yourself to get into the leadership position without fear of codepending on somebody else. You know, sometimes you know, we want to give the spotlight to others all the time, and this is about you choosing you and being seen for you, how you truly want to be seen here, and putting your light out there and shining without fear of who the fuck is gonna burn from your light. You know, really allowing yourself to step into that role with confidence, with grace. And I say grace in a royal way, because the 5th house is a house of royalty also. So tapping into that generational wealth, let your inner child thrive in its success without fear or shame that you are being seen and that you are successful and that you are a leader in that. But with it, you know, with the 6th house thing, this is reminding you not to be that Captain Save-A-Hole. You know, this is not about the hero syndrome or, you know, woe is me, victim mentality, or, you know, there's a need to you to mitigate this in a healthy manner. So by doing the shadow work, this is going to allow for you to share what your gifts are, your talents. If you are in the like music industry or television, any form of entertainment, you know, social platforms, whatever. This is, people are really going to be able to see your light for its truth and what it is. And by you doing the shadow work and being truthful and open with your vulnerability and not coming from a space of lying or hiding yourself, hiding your true light, will you be able to get the exposure that is going to be beneficial to your day-to-day life, that's going to be more liberating and bringing you into a deeper, pure connection with the heart, the mind, and the brain, and being able to have that balance and being able to allow for your inner child to smile, allow for you to enjoy and embrace and have a good time, and actually have healthy relationships with others, because again, the 5th house is relationships as well. And your sexual energy is going to actually naturally heal from this as well. So this energy is very beautiful for y'all, even though it's a bit, you know, you're having to go through doing the shadow work. This is essentially going to bring you to have your light more expanded than it had ever been before, with confidence and true confidence, not fake confidence, not what you wanted to portray on the internet, not what you wanted to look like for others, but from deep within your soul, for real. And your card here is the 4 of Pentacles with the 8 of Pentacles here. So this could, you know, this could be some changes. I mentioned the 6th house with work and the 5th house with being seen here. So there could be recognition. Maybe you're starting to get recognized for the work that you put in there. Maybe there was some fears that you were holding on to that was holding you back. Maybe, you know, there was some sort of like financial obligations that were causing you to not really allow yourself to be confident. Maybe this was bringing you insecurities. Maybe this was making you feel like, can I invest in myself? Can I do this? Am I able to put myself out there? Because the 5th house is also entrepreneurship, whereas the 6th house is like just your daily routines at work, right? And this could also be that like maybe you were feeling stagnant or stuck, and you mastered your skills, and it's time for you to show that mastery out there, to put that work out there, and charge what you are worth, right? Increase your value and add tax without shame, without guilt, but with knowing that you have put a lot out there, and you're worth the energetic reciprocation to that. This could also be that if there's some sort of career that was hindering you, holding you back, that you actually just find yourself, cutting those cords and moving into a new direction. But you're going to know this based on the reciprocation of your investment to your work here, and how others are investing in you. I'm getting like, don't give up on yourself, but also let go of any control issues at this time here. This is also like things with the bank. So maybe if you having some sort of like contracts coming up when it comes down to anything financial or business, even business contracts, this could be renegotiating or reevaluating how these contracts are going to look for you at this time. But I really do feel like this is an opportunity for investments to come into that you're going to have to work hard for it. You're going to have to work hard for it, and it may not be easy right away. You're going to, but you're going to be getting the recognition that is for your highest and greatest good, to create that breakthrough in your financial shifts. For some of you who have been dealing with financial issues at this time, it's almost like feeling financially stagnant as opposed to it being an issue. It's not so much of a fluctuations of highs and lows. It's just kind of been in the same space. And for you to shift or heal your perspective on finances, on money, on worthiness, right? It's everything is energetic. So if you're insecure about the work that you do, about your connections, your contracts, the caliber of your daily habits, if you're just insecure with yourself, or doubtful or stingy, or afraid to invest in yourself, like they say, scared money don't make money, right? And so this may not be all of you. I feel like some of you do put, take the risk and put the investment out there. Maybe you're not seeing the reciprocation back. It could be because maybe you're putting the investment out there, but you're feeling deep inside, internally, you're insecure about your mission, about your path, about what it is that you to do on a day-to-day. And so other people feel, they don't know it's insecurity, but they're feeling some sort of resistance. So now they're doubting they're not feeling 100% secure to invest into your business or something like that, or invest into you to make your business expand. But once you deal with these insecurities, you're going to see this like massive breakthrough in your finances, because now you're going to charge the proper energetic exchange that is necessary for you to be reciprocated at the value of the work that you have mastered, that you put time, energy, attention, years into, right? That's what the 8 of Wands, you've done it. You've done this. You're good at it. Right? And so you can be a leader in that, but you have to allow yourself to feel worthy, to feel valuable, to feel important, and to know. And it's okay to have a certain arrogance. It's okay to have a certain level of, be confident. So what? Be fucking cocky. Somebody's not going to like it, but you know what? You're not for everybody to like. And not everybody's going to like somebody's going to have something to say about everybody at any given fucking moment in time. And the thing is, like, there's a thing about, arrogance can be toxic and whatnot, but there comes a point in time in which it's okay. You've earned this for yourself, and it's called an ego integration, and where you're arrogant, but you're not in a way that's malicious or disgusting or belittling to others. You're just owning your confidence. And so Pisces, that's your reading. The live is going to end. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who were participating. I'm going to end this live. I'm going to come back and do some Q&A for those of you who would like to do some Q&A. And I did put some specials in my story, so check that out, as it's a one-day only. And the full replay is going to be on YouTube, y'all. I'm going to interwove all the lives so that you can get the full overview.